examples, it will lead you to things. If you just look at this, let's say you're lost in the middle, the client doesn't know, but you're looking at, oh yeah, I didn't talk about this thing that's sold space bar. All right, it's hollow inside, so there's a desk in there. So you literally have this in your hand as a tool to remember all the things you're talking about, the edge solution technology, stuff like that. So you were getting that, and you were working your way through, you were holding the vinyl, and you were looking at it, you were taking your time, you weren't rushing, so you were like, oh yeah, and the glazing beads, and oh, the drain and contain system, and you have the tool. You have it right there if you just take your time and look at it. So anyway, very pleased with what I saw. Very conversational. Stronger gratitude statement. I barely heard it. You go, hey, thanks for taking the time. That's what you said. It's like, hey, I want to thank you for taking the time out to meet with me today. I appreciate it. Setting the time aside, just a little bit stronger. You just said, thanks for the time. So, good needs assessment, very conversational. A little aggressive. You go, what do you know about Anderson? That's a little aggressive. Instead of, how did you hear about us? I saw an ad. Oh, are you familiar with our parent company, Anderson? Now, what have you heard about Anderson? It was just a little in your face, right? There's me software there. So, how'd you hear about us? And oh, have you heard about are you familiar with our parent company, Anderson? Oh, you are. Oh, your parents had them. Oh, you grew up. Oh, great. Or, oh, well, that's cool. We're the oldest, largest, and most well-respected window door company in the country. Been around 113, 111 years, whatever it is. So, very clear RBA versus Anderson story. Very clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You did a good job.
No, I appreciate it. That's what I struggled with last time.
No, it was very clear. It was very clear who we were and the difference between us and probably 1995. We didn't deal with the homeowner directly. If you wanted an Anderson window in an existing home, you covered that. You had to tear it out and do the process over again. So very clear. That's when I felt. I was like, oh God, this guy might be on to a C grade here if he keeps this up. Okay. You did mention at price it's good for a year. You were almost too quick.
Okay.
You want them to hear it, but you don't want to stand on it, right? You don't want to. You don't.
Like,
You just flew past it. So you had a break in there. You had a break in there. We don't want the break. We want it to just flow. Hey, as I mentioned, we haven't given you an exact price right. It's good for a year. And we also have a buy today and save program we can talk about later if you want to. I barely heard that. You got it out, but I barely heard it. You really flew past it. Yeah, you want them to hear it, but you just don't want to land on it. Okay? Good lead in on both videos. Right? I mean, you're getting the theory. You're like, let's talk. Tom Dillon, he talks about how we own the process from start to finish. It's undivided responsibility. You can elaborate a little bit more because that goes undivided responsibility from me to the tech measure if we decide to work together, to the manufacturing, to the install of the service. It is all renewable by Anderson. That's just elaborating on the undivided responsibility. So you can drill down a little bit on it, but it was good. And then you're like, and so Tom was from our side. Sandra is actually from the client side and talks about the experience that clients have with this. So watch this video. So lead in on both videos was very good. You explain why you're playing the videos. It drives me crazy when people don't explain why they're playing the video. It goes, hey, let me just play this video for my CEO Tom Dillon.
My boss Josh told me I need to play this.
Yeah, so I'm going to play this video. I don't be right.
I don't like it, but here.
No, but the lead in was good. All right, you did a good job on the new growth wood. Talk about going and seeing people trying to find straight wood. 5 to 7 years. Okay. You missed the 5 to 7 years. They grow on treat farms 5 to 7 years, flood them with water, fertilizer, get to the size they need. So it's about 5 to 7 years. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because you just put it in reference to 100 to 200 years. Okay. 5 to 7 years, big difference.
Yeah.
Pretty soft wood. Right? Crispy versus fuzzy. Crisp versus fuzzy. A lot of your stuff was crisp, and the ideas were coming off very clear. That's why I would put you in the field up to this point.
I don't know.
Because, what?
Yeah, but I have no idea the different types of windows or anything.
Oh, I said up to this point.
Yeah, okay.
This piece, you haven't even demoed a window for me, and I haven't even seen your clothes. But I'm just saying this piece, a homeowner would know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
They would understand what's going on. So, okay, you started going into aluminum windows in the 60s and 70s and having single pane. You did a good job. You're very clear and articulate about, like this thing getting hot and rubber melting the rubber and having seal failure. Well, there's no real seal failure in a single pane window because seal failure is a sealed.
Draftiness and things
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
air will come around it, but it's not going to fog up on you because there's not dual pane glass. It just
It's
air.
fine because it was a simple solution.
Right, and it worked when it was single pane glass because that rubber did melt, and air would come around, but you didn't have to worry.
It's a drafty window, but whatever. It's aluminum.
Right, it's aluminum. It's drafty. It's coming through the glass. It's coming around the glass. The fuzzy pile's been matted down. So just clear on that. Single pane. The air will just flow around it. Clad is trying to get the benefits of both. Right, it's a good in theory, but in practice it doesn't really work. It wants the insulating factor of the wood and the protecting factor of the aluminum. So that's why they put the clad together. They wanted to eliminate the bad points of both and try to capitalize on the good points.
The best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, but still having that condensation, which actually is dripping onto the new growth wood, and it's not drying out, and so you get that rot from the inside out. So in theory, it was a neat idea. In practice, it just doesn't work. That's what the clad is. All right, glued and screwed for the fiberglass. Use your hand signals.
Yeah.
You were kind of down here doing this.
I said so. I didn't say.
You said
glued.
no. You said glued and drilled.
Yeah.
So it's glued and screwed. Kind of rolls off the tongue. Glued and screwed. And use your hand signals. You're kind of like this. You're doing like this in front. Just get up there and show them a corner. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, unless you're totally sweating pits. I liked. How you said, listen, a little bit of gloom and doom about vinyl and the glazing beads. I don't want to be gloom and doom about it. I'm not trying to, a little bit, but it is an issue. Burglars can find out about this, so you kind of softened up that, the way you said it was nice. I don't want to be. I'm not the sales guy that comes in and just wants to scare you to death, right? So the way you phrased it, it worked. Like I said, very conversational. Would not use wasted.
When did I say that?
You said they wasted about $210 million.
Right.
It wasn't wasted. It was R&D. Don't say they spent money on it. This was the evolution. They realized this didn't work. I mean, how many trial and errors until you find the product? So you said they wasted.
They pivoted. They saw it was falling and they made a conscious pivot.
Well, they scrapped the whole project. They spent about $25 million setting up vinyl business. 3 years later, after taking a look at it, they scrapped the entire project and went back to the drawing board, and they developed this. Instead of wasted $210 million. Fibrex, 40% reclaimed wood fiber, 60% polymers, extruded together under heat and pressure. You got it a little backwards, and you said recycled wood fibers, reclaimed wood fiber. You picked up on that?
Yeah, I got recycled.
Right,
yeah.
It's recycled wood fibers. We are the only window that has a green seal of approval because we use reclaimed wood fiber.
What's the difference?
There's not much other than reclaimed sounds stronger than recycled. Recycled sounds like you just got it out of the garbage can. Like we're sweeping up the sawdust on our shop floors where we're getting that. No, it's reclaimed wood fiber.
Okay.
All right, I like the word repurposed. You said all these other frames were repurposed to make a window frame. I like that a lot. That's a really good, strong word. Repurposed. And Fibrex was the only window frame that was actually designed and built to be a window frame. Everything else was repurposed. So you guys should use that, Eugene, and repurposed.
Never say it again. Next.
Yeah. All right, 7 times more than the glass. You were just saying 7 times.
I did that again. Okay.
7 times more than the glass. It's got to have a reference point. If you see the glass is staying here and this is moving 7 times greater than the glass, there's a reference to it. Inside of the exterior pane, it has 3 coatings of silver oxide on the inside of the exterior pane. Eugene says it pretty good. You were like, you just be clear. There's three silver oxide coatings on the inside of the exterior pane. Inside of the exterior pane. Turn off the heat lamp. Don't let that thing run forever. You just left it on and on. Once you're done with the heat demonstration, turn it off. And the last thing is, you had Eugene touch the glass early on. Hey, take your finger and touch this side, take this side. Do it at the end where it's gotten hot. That's when you do it. Right before you turn on the heat lamp off, you're like, feel this. Use the back of your hand. Hot, and it's really hot and cold. It hadn't had time to heat up when you did it. So just do it at the end. But at least you're trying. At least listen. You're putting it in there, right? That's what I'm saying. A little bit of it was out of order, but you're putting in all the pieces. It was coming to you. You're like, oh, you remember that? I could watch you. You're like, oh, remember that? Remember that? It was bouncing, you know. And it was a bit backwards on the glass process. You went straight for the vacuum pulse technology, and that's the last thing you do.
Yeah.
It starts with the spacer bar, stainless spacer bar, the desiccant, then the butyl strip, then the edge deletion technology, and then they put the whole thing together in a glass with no oxygen in it. It's called vacuum pulse technology. Get 100% fill rate, right, of the argon nitrogen gas, and then they direct set it into this frame that doesn't expand and contract. They're not worried about it.
Okay, so the glass, the spacer, desiccant, the butyl strip, the vacuum,
edge deletion technology, and then vacuum pulse technology.
Because I feel like even though there's all these, like, these are like vacuum, like you just explained where it's like they build the thing inside of a vacuum. You know?
Well, but they're not building the entire thing. They're taking the spacer bar, stainless steel spacer bar, and they're shaping the window. Then they're putting a butyl strip down on it. Then they're doing, with the glass, they're doing the edge deletion technology, and then they put the whole thing together in a room that has no oxygen. It's called vacuum pulse technology. They suck all the air out of it. It's got 100% fill rate of argon nitrogen gas. So you didn't poke a hole in the window.
But you throw all that stuff together, so when they say, oh, it's so expensive, you're like, well, I shared, why, you know?
Sure, the technology.
So if you don't drop that, then they're it's too expensive.
I can do 2 vinyl jobs for the price of yours. Okay, do you want to do this twice? And it's not true, because in 5 years or 7 years, when you're replacing these windows again, it's going to cost you more than now. So it's actually not.
It sounds like you're getting a lot more for your money.
That's what you do. You're separating yourself from the competition with all the bells and whistles of everything that we have. From the Fiberx material, to the glass, to the way it's put together, to all the bells and whistles of the window, to our service, everything. You are separating ourselves. Building value is what it's called. So, and then you totally drop the ball on Sigma study. That may have just pushed you to C-.
Yeah.
Now that I think.
Because that's how you can say you guarantee the window.
We tested it. How do we know? It's not just out of the box performance, long-term performance. There's an outside verification of Sigma. Let me show you with that. And how do we know? Because we've tested in all of these sites. All right, you got a C-.
Okay.
That's kind of important. But I still would have put you in the field, and your client would have known that you missed Sigma because you did a good job. But yeah, I mean, like I said, fuzzy versus crisp. And that was a good job. You know, there's obviously quite a few notes, but good stuff.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yep.
It was good. You imparted the information.
Yeah, I think he would have done the 20-year guarantee if he had remembered the Sigma too.
Right. No, because they flow in each other. As soon as he's talking about that, the next page is how do we know? Because this is somebody's. Because we test in these 3 locations.
I have no idea. How's the stuff I'll go back?
Yeah.